Cross. One. One, two, three, one. Oh, yeah, that's their mahi, boy. That's their mahi.
Kia ora whanau and welcome to Around the Grounds, a podcast from New Zealand Rugby bringing you closer to our national game. Super Rugby Aupiki is done and dusted, Blues got the chocolates over the Chiefs manawa, and now we have our first Black Ferns squad named for 2024 ahead of the Pac 4 series. That kicks off May the 11th, FMG Stadium, best grass in the country apparently, between the Black Ferns and the USA. To talk about the upcoming series and their journey to the black jersey are some of our midfield players, Sylvia Brunt, Amy Plessis and Grace Steinmetz. Welcome to the pod, girls. And how good's this? In the team room. I don't know if myself and producer Kep have ever been in the team room. This is the inner sanctum. Is this as quiet as it ever is in this room?
This is probably the quietest you'll ever get it.
Yeah, definitely. We've had to kick some people out.
Yeah, we have. I mean, I don't know if we can tell some of the stories from that other guest that was here before, can we? That was here doing a bit of filming with Ruby. Maybe we'll leave that for another day, that one. But maybe watch out for that, I think. Hey, watch out for that one. Look, we're in the team room. Like, you know, first and foremost, before we talk about some of the footy and some of the on-field stuff, like, do you girls have some of these very important responsibilities like social committee, tour DJ, you know, games night? I mean, you know, I hear at times when I interview other teams that these jobs can make you more anxious than getting out there and playing international footy.
Yeah, I guess we do have like a committee. We've got something that is called a club night, and we do it every Tuesday
awesome.
night before our day off, which is really cool. And it's just a way to connect back to our like clubs. We've got mini teams, and they're all named after past legends of the game.
Oh, awesome!
So it's really cool. It's just a good way to connect and have fun games, and yeah.
Who are the legends? Talk me through what the mini teams, who they're named after.
My team is Farah Palmer, so
The
obviously
absolute legend, yeah, totally.
Who else have we got? The Fraggles. Melissa Rusco.
Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah.
Anna Richards.
Oh, Anna Richards, another OG.
And Fee.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
So it's pretty cool.
Yep, big names. And what about the DJ stuff? Because like every time I see a bit of content from the Black Ferns or the Black Ferns Sevens or any women's rugby in general, to be honest, it's loud. There's tunes, there's singing, we're happy, it's joy. Is that always the case? And is someone in behind the scenes, you know, on the Spotify playlist, or does it just happen organically?
Tanya.
Yeah, tons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just-
She's our DJ.
She's always got the boombox.
Yeah. All the UE boom in her bag.
Yeah.
She just walks in and it's pumping.
And she just knows how to read the room. She
Yeah.
knows what the team needs at a certain time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
Definitely.
What a skill. There's something in that.
Amy has a role, actually.
Do I?
Yeah.
What's my role?
Sign on.
Oh,
yeah.
Talk us through it. Talk us through it.
When we're on the field, we do like a back sign on to get everyone, you know, like ready. And Pizza is the one that normally does it, but sometimes she just throws me in the deep end and makes me do it. And maybe 95% of the time I choke, but for 5%,
It'll be like a backs to claps fire or something.
It's growth though, isn't it? You've
Yeah,
got to be put in
exactly.
these uncomfortable situations, don't you? You know?
100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Look, before we talk about, you know, being in camp down here and the Pac 4 series coming up, I want to talk a little bit to you girls around your journey to the jersey, a little bit different for each of you, which is pretty cool. And start with you, Sylvia. Like, what got you into rugby? And you know, was there a particular person and you know, sort of those steps along the way to see you sitting on the couch in the team room about to, you know, play for the Black Ferns in just over a week's time?
I guess it started back in primary school. I went to Waikowhai Primary School, and I was first introduced to the game at lunchtime and interval when I was running around with the boys. So they'd be running around playing touch, and I thought it was quite cool, and I'd jump in with them. There were a few times where we did play tackle when we weren't to, but just try to have a look out, see it when the teacher comes, but I don't recommend it to the kids watching. From there, I played my first club game with Grammar Carlton.
Yep.
Under 11s and 12s, 2 years with them, with the boys.
With the GC, yep.
Yeah. So I was one of 2 girls in the whole comp, but I loved it.
Yeah.
Played with them, started on the wing, jumped in at flanker, then went back to the wing and was just running around enjoying it with the boys. Played throughout my whole school career when I was in high school, Mount Albert Grammar School. So we started off with first year 7s, built on 10s the next year, and then built on to a 15 squad.
Awesome.
When I was about 16,
Yeah.
my auntie Christo, she actually told my dad after Rocky Khan told her to try and get me down to trainings, just have a little run around with the girls. First week I was just training with them, wasn't expecting much, just to like experience it with the girls, what women's rugby is. Then all of a sudden, was in a huddle, they were calling out the team list, and they called my name out to play on the wing that weekend, and I was like, I was shocked. I was like, oh my gosh, my dad said I'm not allowed to play, but they've just named me. And
Did you tell them, or did you just sneak down there and...
oh, that was the deal. I would just come and train, but I wouldn't play.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I'm not telling Dad. Someone's got to tell Dad. Someone's got to tell Dad for me. But
Did you play?
yeah, I played. I played. It was like,
did
okay.
someone tell Dad, or did you just sneak the first couple of games in without him
Auntie
knowing?
told Dad, all good.
You told him. How,
yeah.
What did he say?
I think he was just worried about me playing against the older women, but he said, if I want to play, I got to show him I want to play. So he was coming to watch trainings. On game day, he was like, okay, let's see how you go. This is your one chance. And then I came out injury free. I enjoyed it. Had a lot of learnings from it, but he just let me play on, and then never looked back from there.
Yeah, good.
So yeah.
How good. Am I right to say that maybe you started getting into, some of the representative sides while you're still, working hard at school on the books? Is that fair to say?
Yeah. I had to deal with my parents, like I wasn't allowed to play or train if my schoolwork wasn't finished and done to a standard that they approved of.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, so if I missed a deadline, or if I was running behind, or if they got an email from school, I'll know straight away, because they'll send me a text and it'll be like, come straight to the car, we're going straight home, or go straight to the library, you're not allowed to leave until you finish your work. And it didn't happen very often.
It did happen by the sounds of it.
Yeah,
it did happen.
After the first time, I was like, okay, I need to make sure I get all my stuff sorted, because I love playing footy. It was a way I was able to connect back to my school, to connect with my friends, and bring everyone together. I guess I played netball in school, but I felt it wasn't the sport for me, and there were other like-minded people that wanted to try something else. So that was something pretty cool that I was a part of, just being a part of that legacy back at Mags, and then now moving on to higher honours is pretty cool.
Well done. It's awesome. And there's, like you say, it's awesome that you came through a period where there's starting to be more and more opportunities for our female players, like whether it be at school, whether it be rep, and then, for yourself, you sort of skipped a bit of the age grade stuff and just went to the top when you were still in the age grade. So hugely impressive. Grace, I want to ask you the same question, and maybe your journey's slightly different. Like, what got you into the game? Was it, there was certain people that pushed you in a certain direction, or was there certain opportunities? Like, let us know, like, your journey to the couch today.
Yeah, mine's quite different. When I was younger, I was pretty much, hockey was my winter sport and touch rugby was my summer sport.
Nice.
And it had like a bit of an athletics background and stuff as well. But yeah, I was touch.
What event in athletics?
Sprints and jumps.
Ah, there we go.
Yeah.
It goes great for rugby, yeah.
But yeah, I had a really like rugby orientated family, but I myself didn't play rugby. But Mum wouldn't let me, because I'd have like netball and hockey in winter, and I couldn't play rugby as well. Yeah. I wanted to, but yeah, she was like, no, it's not happening. So pretty much didn't even think about rugby till I got to would have been my second year of university down in Canterbury. So I would have been like 20. So it's about 5 years ago now.
Yeah.
And pretty much I just got a message from this guy called Warwick Lamert. He's from Taranaki. He's played lots of rugby, and he just said, hey, have you ever thought about playing some sevens? And I was like, no, like not at all. And he was like, oh, how about you come up and play in a tournament, and we'll just, see how you go. Just I guess I had my touch background, the ball skills. It was just the kind of
How did he know to reach out to you? Like, what was his connection? Why did he know that perhaps had an inkling that you could be well suited to the game outside of being, I'm picking, pretty quick?
Yeah, well, we at that point in time, Taylor Retty had just made the NZ Sevens, and she was like my touch coach growing up and stuff. And it was like her first year of rugby, and I think he just like kind of saw that. Obviously, it was when Sevens started going full time, and he was kind of like, touches, that can't be my job one day.
Touch doesn't go to the Olympics.
No, so like, and I think he knew I was just such a sports freak that like I wanted sport to be my job one day. It was just trying to find that sport that would do that. I thought that touch was going to do it and hockey was going to do it, but unfortunately in New Zealand, like, that's just not possible. So I think it was just an avenue for that to happen. And so I went and played in this schoolgirls tournament, even though I was second year of university, but had no idea what I was doing. Absolutely hated it. I was like, that this is not for me. But then
what did you not like? Was it the fact that, because you're obviously really good at sports, was it the fact that you didn't know the sport that well, so you're a bit anxious about it, or like?
Absolutely, just really challenging. Like, it was a big step outside of my comfort zone, because like I was quite used to being like naturally gifted to be able to play sport, but I feel like rugby, there's a natural element, but then there's an element of like, especially for women, like being aggressive and tackling and stuff that didn't come naturally to me. So it was like a massive like, okay, if I'm going to do this, I have to work for it. And I think initially it was a bit of a shock to the system, and I was like, nah, not for me. But then I think I got to the point where I was like, wow, like this is quite cool, like something that I could actually like challenge myself and work for. And then pretty much in the space of 2 months, I made the Canterbury Women's Sevens team, which I still didn't know the rules, didn't know what I was doing, and then made the New Zealand Development Sevens, was on a training contract with the Black Ferns Sevens the following year. But throughout that time, like a lot of anxiety, like a lot of like not deserving like where I was like I was still learning the game,
imposter syndrome, and wondering if you're up for the challenge.
100%. So pretty much my first couple of years of rugby was started in Sevens, went over to Japan and played for a while.
Oh wow.
And then coming back from Japan, where I wanted to try put my hand up for a Black Ferns Sevens contract, was when COVID had hit, so that must have been 2020. And the Sevens there was nothing happening. And they said, well, if you want to continue playing rugby, 15s is kind of your only thing right now. So pretty much got forced into playing some club rugby, played club rugby, and then Canterbury Wharepama Cup, and then made the Black Ferns in that year. So I've been very fortunate, but also like it was quite daunting at the time, because I got pretty fast tracked, and I did feel like I still had a lot to learn. But I think now I've finally kind of found my feet. But it did take a long time.
Amazing though, completely different journey to Sylvia, which shows, that it's sometimes, it's not the same for everyone. And I think particularly as women rugby has emerged over the last, 5, 6, 7 years. But like also, you're talking about going from, well, firstly, not playing the sport at all, to probably after a year or two, maybe having to play against and mark like Porsche or something, or, like these top players. I can imagine that would come with some anxiety.
Oh, my second tournament of Sevens, I was up versus in the Black Ferns Sevens, like marking Niall Williams in the centres, and I just remember getting offended and just fell straight on the ground.
No issues with the aggressive nature of the sport there.
I was like, oh, welcome. But no, it's been a really cool journey to, I think it's like a challenging one, but really rewarding once you kind of finally, get past those anxieties and stuff, for sure.
Do you look back and sort of think, is there, any particular time when you thought, I can't do this, and I'm going to knock it on the head and go back to hockey, or is it the other way where you just continue to look at some of the challenges along the way, and perhaps something that was a challenge 2 years ago is not now,
No, definitely. I've probably had a couple of instances where I've almost hung my boots up, which sounds crazy at the age of 26. But,
ripe old age.
Yeah, but after one of Sevens Nationals I played for Wellington, because I felt so nervous going onto the field, I was always, feeling so sick, not being able to eat breakfast because I was just so nervous. And I got to the point where I realised, like, why am I doing this? Like, if I feel like this, am I really enjoying it? So at that point I was I literally had told my parents, I'm done. And then that's when I got offered a contract in Japan. And I thought that maybe I'll go and see what it's like to be a full-time Sevens player, and whether that might change my my mindset and stuff, and did that, and then that just kind of regathered everything.
It's interesting, like a little reset, or not a reset, but like just a different opportunity, like you say, love of the game, and then never look back. How good.
Yeah, definitely.
Amy, what about you? Like, what got you into the mix? Like, du Plessis not necessarily a name that we'd, put in a lot of New Zealand team sheets, to be completely honest. But,
not wrong.
You seem to, be running a pretty good New Zealand accent, though, at the same time. So, how did you get into rugby?
Yeah, I was born in South Africa, moved to New Zealand when I was 7. And rugby was definitely not something that I aspired to do when I was young. But went to Southland Girls High, and we had a really good rugby program.
Southland, that'll sort your accent out, won't it?
Yeah,
Straight away. That'll
rolling my R's and everything. But yeah, we had a really awesome rugby program and a great first 15, so I was really honoured to be able to be part of that from year 9. And a lot of my friends played. I went to the boarding school, and a lot of the girls were country girls, and they were the ones that played in clubs with like all the boys, and they kind of got me along to go and have a go. And yeah, it was real funny. Like, my dad always said to me when we moved to New Zealand, like, you will play rugby. And I just think I was maybe like the son that he never had. He does.
Geez, these parents are pretty hard yak, aren't they, of you guys? Like, they seem to be, giving you the hard word, but yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I do have an older brother, but he doesn't play rugby, and so I think Dad just wanted that to be, he wanted one of us to, and I was the one. So yeah, he just said to me, like, you've got to go down and have a go. But I just absolutely loved it. I'm really competitive, and I think that just, it was a game that I could be competitive, but also had a lot to learn. Still learning a lot now. But yeah, I think I also really enjoyed the challenge, and just the connections you make and the people that you meet is pretty cool.
Yeah. And was it, were you doing other sports, or like, could you tell straight away, actually, I like this game, the New Zealand South African mix was, came out and you straight away and enjoyed the contact and enjoyed the challenge pretty much from day dot?
Yeah, I definitely played lots of sports. My 3 main were netball, touch and rugby.
Yeah.
And right until year 13, I wasn't sure whether I was going to play rugby or play netball. Like, I loved netball just as much. But I think the opportunities in rugby for women and girls is far greater, and I think that's why I've become a rugby player, because the netball opportunities weren't as many, and it was obviously also a lot harder because so many girls are playing. But I think the opportunity now for girls coming through school, I played Condors, we went to top 4 every year.
Yeah.
There's just so many opportunities, and then from that, I did a go for gold
Brilliant.
trial, and there was just a lot of opportunities to put your hand up. I also did play a bit of Sevens. I think, Grace and I played development together, which is really cool. Went over to Japan. And all those little opportunities you're getting seen, your coaches from all over, 15 sevens are watching. So I think that was also really cool. And then I also did a little stint in Japan, but COVID hit, so I had to come home. I did 5 weeks over there. And that was really cool, like a really different experience. I must say I didn't love it, but when I look back, it taught me so much, and I grew so much as a person, which I loved. And then played Wharapama Cup for Canterbury, Otago first. I played 2 years there, and then I knew that I wanted to be a Black Fern and wanted to be professional, and I think in Otago I just didn't quite have the resources that Canterbury did, and so I moved to Christchurch. I've been there for 4 years now. I played Wharapama for them, which I've absolutely loved, and I think it's helped my rugby so much. And then Matatu, and then the Black Ferns.
There it is. Yeah, good.
Yeah, but also along the way, had lots of setbacks, and I think that's something that's important. Never give up, and you're not going to be the best straight away. There are some girls that are really naturally just gifted to be great, but I think we can all get there, and it does take time. But it's cool that we've got the resources and things in the Black Ferns to be able to do that.
How good. 3 players in the Black Ferns, 3 midfielders, but 3 very, very different journeys. It's crazy to hear that. Let's talk a little bit about the Black Ferns. Can you guys remember getting named in the team for the first time, making your debut, getting your jersey, some of those really iconic moments, that you get? Can you, start with you, Amy? Can you remember being named in the team and perhaps, being given your first, how did you receive your first jersey? Where is your first jersey? Some of those big moments.
Yeah, well, I got offered a contract in 2020, I think. Or 21. And I got told, I think, face-to-face by Glenmore. Yeah. And, that was surreal. That's
pretty cool to get it delivered in person.
Yeah, it was just what I dreamt of.
Did you know that was what the yarn was about, or you did?
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Well, we had, a possibles, probables, or Barba's Black Ferns. Possibles, probables.
Possibles, probables.
What's it? Oh, I can't quite remember, but anyway, we had 2 games, and then after that he was going to name the contracts. And so that was pretty special. But I guess a contract is great, but you want to be, you want to be playing and you want to be great. Yeah. So for me, I was like, cool, this is the first step, but I want to keep aspiring to be better. But and then in 2021, Sils? Did we debut? Two. 2022.
Nice skills. Terrible memories, all of you.
Sorry.
Like, just awful memories.
Sorry.
But, loving the yarn. But
Sorry. 2022 was coached by Wayne Smith, which was like one of my most memorable years of rugby.
Yeah.
Like, he's just sensational. And so, debut 2020 against Canada at Pac-4, which was really cool.
There it is.
And I was extremely nervous, but I just knew that my time had come and I just had to go out there and just be brave, believe that I could do it, and it was awesome.
I think it's one of Smithy's legacies, isn't it, around just empowering the girls to go out and have a go, didn't he? Like, you just said, you've got the skills.
100%.
Like, put a bit of framework in it and a bit of a template, but just go and rip in. Like, where's that jersey?
It is framed and it's at my mum and dad's house.
Oh, how good.
Yeah.
How good. Over the fireplace?
Well, they're moving now, so I'm not sure where it's going to be, but it was in the lounge.
I'm sure Dad's pretty proud by the
Yeah,
sounds of
he
it.
is proud, definitely.
Grace, yourself, do you remember being named and jerseys and some of those big milestones? I know for you, not some false starts, but like a couple of times it was on the radar, and then perhaps a couple of injuries that maybe stopped you getting there as soon as you could.
Yeah. Well, mine definitely started the same as Amy, in terms of that. Barbar's tour that we had, and I think that was after that must have been the first time that we had full-time contracts, and I think we were lucky enough to be in that group of first time. We've had a wee while of having to juggle with uni and work, some people being mums and stuff, but it was that first year that we were full-time athletes, so that was pretty cool. And then my debut it was a bit delayed. I had quite a few setbacks. Can't even remember what they were now. Long COVID, and then something with my foot, and so I was named to be in Pac-4 to debut with these guys, and then had to get pulled out. So the following was Laurie O'Reilly, and got to debut in Adelaide against Australia, which was really cool. And Mum and Dad were over there.
Got the W?
Yes, we did get the W. Yeah, and that jersey, same as Amy, is hanging up somewhere at home, Mum and Dad's.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Sylvia, you probably got named at assembly in the jersey when you were 14 or something, and they brought the headmaster passed it over, or like, can you remember? Can you remember? Being named, being given your first jersey, chucking on for the first time, and where might that jersey be these days?
I was actually called in as injury cover for Pac-4 2022. I was told I wasn't going to play that series, but I was like, all good. Yeah. At least I get to come in and train with the girls and experience what the intensity's like against the world's greatest. I think in our second week, I was tracking quite well. I was still doing uni on the side, but got that all done before I went into camp in the first week, and then was training well. Had girls supporting me, and they told me I was gonna potentially debut and play against Canada, and I was just like, oh yep, okay. I think it didn't really hit until I was on the field, running around with the girls. I was just having so much fun, but I was quite calm, collective. I was a little jittery in warm up, but then once I ran on, I was sweet. And in terms of my jersey, Dad framed it and it's at home. Cool. So he's got it in the lounge, and
That's pretty cool though, isn't it? Obviously all your parents have been supportive and encouraging and helped you along the way, so to have that first jersey up in the family home's probably pretty cool. Something you all touched on there a little bit is being contracted players, and like you guys were part of the first cohort. Sylvia, perhaps women's rugby was slowly becoming more professionalised as you came through, but you hinted a little bit, that's got to be pretty cool, doesn't it? Because I can imagine when you don't have a contract and you're still trying to be the best you can absolutely be, it's got to be a bit of a hustle. So to get a contract and know you've got a bit of security and know that you can go and rip in, do it full time, has to be a good feeling. Like your point, I know the main thing is to be on the field and compete and play for the team, but it's got to be a bit easier to perform at the highest level if you've got that security behind you.
100%. I think as well, we've become a lot more professional, and the games and the style of rugby has even got better because we're training full time. We're able to, do our recovery well, nutrition well, we've got more time on our hands.
Yeah.
So it makes a huge difference. And it's pretty cool to be in the era that we're actually experiencing that, because a lot of the ladies that played before us have paid the way and didn't get this. So we are really honoured, but we're still chasing to get high contracts, longer extensions. We can always continue growing that, but it is awesome.
Just the start of the journey, isn't it? But it's cool to see, what this year, hopefully, 8 to 10 test matches, like you say, Super Rugby Aupiki is still in its infancy, but it's certainly looked to have gone up a level from previous years, plus Farah Cup, so there is opportunities to put the names up in lights and hopefully be a contracted player. Grace, was it big for you just because maybe, when you started the journey, perhaps some of that wasn't there, or the game was only just starting to professionalise? It must have been quite cool to get a contract.
Yeah. I think I look back on it and I was quite grateful that I didn't go straight into a full-time contract. I'm grateful that I was able to study and able to work out my life outside of rugby before I got contracted. So I just finished my law degree and then got full-time contracted. So being able to have that in my back pocket's quite nice. But
Not bad at all, yeah.
I think looking back, it's really cool for us kind of girls where we've played other sports, haven't been given all the resources. We've had to study and, go to school, whereas, often sometimes with men's rugby, they can come straight out of school now into a full-time contract. And I think we're probably that last era that still had to balance things. And obviously people did it before us and much better. They did an amazing job and paved the way for us. But I think I'm grateful that we weren't just kind of handed something on the plate as well.
Totally awesome. And, side note, I suppose, but, if you do have to put your law degree to work, which one of the girls are you likely to be defending?
Who do you reckon? I always wanted to be a criminal lawyer as well. So that might have to,
Might be old mate. Who just came in.
Yeah. Totally. I'll let you stew on that one.
I will.
Not throwing any on it. It'd be a misdemeanor anyway. It wouldn't be anything. It'd be a speeding ticket or something, wouldn't it? It wouldn't be too bad. Wouldn't be too bad.
Exactly.
Well, let's talk about while we're here. Firstly, must be quite a lot of energy and excitement when the girls get together for the first time for the year. I know in certain teams you play together and stuff, but when you all come together, it must be pretty cool. Is there a good atmosphere in the team early doors?
Yeah, it's awesome, man. Such cool girls and great coaching group. I guess first camp's always exciting. We had the whole contracted group in Wellington, which was really cool.
Cool.
And I think we haven't really had that. We haven't probably had a camp where it's just been contracted in a long time, and so that was special to have everyone in one room, and we got outfitted, so it's always very, very exciting.
Free gear's good gear, isn't
it?
Oh yeah, free shoes are good shoes.
Yeah,
oh,
exactly.
My goodness,
literally Christmas, but really good vibes. A lot of competition, which is cool.
Yes.
But that only makes us and the team better, which is cool.
Yeah, totally. And have we got there's certain people, if I slid the piece of paper across the room and said, don't room me with this person, is that clear and obvious early days, or are we reluctant to throw someone under the bus on the podcast? Sylvia, I'm going to ask you.
Yep.
Is anyone who would be a good roommate and who'd be a bad roommate?
I've enjoyed all my roomies.
So PC.
Too nice.
You're so professional. So well trained.
My roomie at the moment is KV, and before that, I think Tanya.
Yep.
Tanya's known to get up early. Her day starts really early, and for me, I like to sleep in, but I won't get up when she gets up because I'm quite a heavy sleeper, so that worked really well.
You can sleep through that.
Yep,
oh,
I can sleep through that, so that worked really well. Other girls can't do that, so I guess it's another superpower of mine.
Totally, it absolutely is a superpower. Yeah. So Pac 4 starts May the 11th at FMG against the US. Tell us a little bit about our opposition. From what I can tell from previous years, States are an emerging side, Canada are strong. Aussie sort of go up and down depending on what players are available and what opportunities there are. Is that the same for the series ahead, or is it the unknown and we just prepare the best we can?
Yeah, I guess we've played them before, so we kind of know what to expect, but it's also a new team. We're a new team. So I guess we're probably focusing more on us and what we can do better, and where our strengths lie and how we can enhance those. but yeah, we haven't really looked too far into USA yet. We're just more focusing on, just learning our plays and getting our systems right.
And because I know, it's fantastic that you did play France and England at the end of last year because they're strong sides and you want to test yourself against the best sides. What are some of the things that we're looking to work on or that we learnt from that series before? Because obviously, we talked a little bit about how women's rugby in the various competitions that you guys play in is becoming professional and that's great for our game. But they've been doing it a little bit longer actually, haven't they? The English sides and the French sides, they've had professional teams and leagues and athletes for a little bit longer and perhaps have the benefit of that, when they come down and play us, they're pretty organised and they're pretty sharp. So what do we learn from those games at the end of last year with those guys?
They're no joke.
No, they're no joke, 100%.
I guess for me, the intensity...
In what way? Is it a size, speed, more organised? I think the one thing I notice when I watch is how organised they are on defence. That would be one thing I really notice because, I think we've got a lot of players with a lot of flair and a lot of speed and we're a good attacking side when we have the space, but they can actually be pretty good at shutting us down, very physical, very, flat, good line speed. Is that something perhaps, perhaps we're looking at over the course of this series? What are we working on over the next couple of weeks?
I think for us, fitness is always, we can always get better, and I think that's what the English are phenomenal at. Across the board, they're big, strong, powerful, fit athletes.
And they go all day.
And they
They're
just
very
go and go and
strong.
go, and so that's something we just want to try and enhance, get our fitness, right. Something else we kind of, we noticed that our kicking game wasn't probably up to scratch. And our exit, it wasn't, probably good enough. We were making a lot of mistakes in our own half. And so
Pinning
I think...
us down in our own areas,
So I think that's something we are going to be working on and have been looking at that in our tactical awareness.
Yeah. Does Mully's, Mike Delaney, one of your coaches, does he just talk you through that, or does he like to put the ball down on the tee and show off his skills? He sort of backs himself, as a former first five and a kicker, a bit of both. He is a bit of a show-off, isn't he?
Yeah.
He is,
And he's not here to defend himself as today, so we can literally, throw him under the bus.
We want.
Yeah, talk whatever we want.
Definitely making us work on our kicking game though. Every training now we've got some time at the start, time at the end to get that going. But I reckon for these games we've just because we keep talking about that, was it 18 months till the World Cup as well? We're at the start, we've got a beginning phase, we've got lots of new faces. So I think it's a lot around focusing on ourselves and being our better selves so that come those big games that we're kind of ready to go.
Yeah. For you girls all in the midfield, I know, Grace, you're a utility really. When I look back and was doing a bit of research, you've sort of played any number of positions, but do you work a lot together? Do you spend a lot of time analysing your game, opposition's games together, or is that not the case, or you do spend a bit of time together?
We do.
Yeah, we do. I think every time we kind of have meetings and stuff, we all try to sit together as a group and work things out. And then, when we do our individual time on the field, we're always wanting to see, what do you need to work on today? And we kind of bounce off each other, which is cool. And we've often got the same things that we need to work on as well. Yeah.
We are obviously competing, but at the end of the day, it's healthy. We're all here to try and make each other better.
Rising tide lifts all boats and get everyone improving. And
100%.
Yeah.
And we're all best friends off the field, so whatever happens on the field stays on the field.
Yeah. It's a crazy dynamic of high performance sport, isn't it? But surely it's got a benefit. Look, we talked a little bit about it, and you've all had a bit of a different journey, but there is becoming, a reasonably clear and emerging pathway, for young girls who want to get into the game. For girls out there who maybe had some of the same anxieties you guys had, over the years around, whether it be, chucking yourself into a new environment or a new sport or having a crack at a new challenge, whether it be a different team, what would you say to those young girls out there who are thinking about, maybe giving rugby a crack or maybe, they're playing rugby but they're just doing it with their friends and they're unsure whether they want to, rip in and give some of the other opportunities a go.
I'll start then. I guess for me, I took every opportunity that came my way. I kind of had to either search for it or make sure that I took every opportunity. And so that my advice would be just to, believe in yourself, take every opportunity that comes your way. It doesn't matter if you're a boy, girl, if you live in a small town, a big town, there is a pathway, there is a way to get you. And I think as well, be brave to go and ask the hard questions or be brave to actually put your hand up and kind of, you know, show your interest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't sit back and wait for it to come. See if you can promote yourself. 100%.
Yeah, probably like really similar. I think just be okay to like put yourself into uncomfortable situations, and like Amy said as well, like just take all your opportunities. Like, you know, that sometimes they might be hard, it might not be quite what you want, but that's going to probably open the door to something else. So anytime something's, you know, you're selected in a team or there's an opportunity, just take it. I think there's just so many opportunities, and you know, in rugby in New Zealand for women, but women's sport, like
it's kicking off, isn't it?
Globally. So I think whatever sport it is, just be okay putting yourself into uncomfortable places, and see what happens.
Sylvia, anything for the girls out there?
I'm similar to these guys.
Yeah.
I guess first just give it a go and have some fun. If you really want to go far with it or keep improving, just work hard. Like these guys said, believe in yourself, trust yourself, be honest with yourself. If you really want to be there or go far, you got to show it through your actions and not only your words. And
Nice, Sylvie.
Yeah, good. That's awesome. Look, I love it. You girls all started, you know, like just playing for fun, doing it with your friends, like taking on a few challenges, which is awesome. Look, good luck. I know, you know, there's cafeterias you need to get to before they shut. You know, that was a real area of importance when I first turned up. So
Coffee
need to make
time?
sure. Yeah, I know Amy in particular was getting pretty
Big
antsy at the
coffee
start.
She hasn't had her caffeine.
Yeah, I know, I can tell. She's angry. But no, thank you so much for giving us a bit of time today. Like, as I said, it's very cool actually to be here in the heart, in the team room, where I know, you know, for so many teams on tour, it's such a cool place where you come back and unwind a wee bit and stuff. So good luck for the game on May the 11th. Encourage everyone to get out there, buy some tickets, get to FMG, one of the, you know, maybe one of the best, you know, rugby grounds in the country. Great grass, great facilities, great viewing. So get along and support the girls, and good luck for the series, and not just for the Pac 4, but for all the other games coming out through the remainder of the year. Thank you, girls. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ka pai.
Ka pai.